Hello everyone, this is Lance back with another Mahjong tips videos. So this is the fourth video. Today we will be talking about half flush, which is English for what is commonly known as 半色 or 混一色. Okay, this is a combination of tiles that exist in from my knowledge all types of Mahjong, except those that don't have 自牌 in them honor tiles, then in those cases the suited combination will always be 清一色. Yep. Okay, so today we'll be talking about the offensive aspect of half flush, meaning that we will be focusing on when we should be doing half flush, how we should play, and so on. When playing Mahjong, other players can also be doing half flush, and then we might need to consider defending against their half flush, but that will be for another video. Okay, so today we'll be focusing on just attacking with half flush. Okay, so if you have a nice hand like this, then it's a very obvious half flush, right? You already have if you remember last time we talked about the 5 block method. Okay, so 3、4、5 is 1 block, then 7 1 block, 8 1 block, then the 2 大牌 pairs they are 1 block each. Okay, so if you already have 5 blocks in the suit that you want to do, including the 自牌, right, then this is a very obvious half flush. So if you don't go for half flush in this case, then I don't know whether you know how to play Mahjong or not. Okay, so next we will look at a semi-obvious half flush. Okay, so to win a hand you need to have 5 completed blocks. One of them is a pair, the other 4 are either triplets or sequences. Okay, in this case the hand looks quite bad. Let's say this is your starting hand. Okay, doesn't look that good, but you see you have a pair of 四锁, that's 1 block, then 7、9 this Kalong 8 is 1 block, then a pair of Dong, another block, and then a pair of Hong Zong, another block. So you have 4 blocks that belong to either 锁子 or 大牌. Okay, and on top of that, your non-锁子, like your 万子 and 童子, right, these tiles, the shape is very bad. Okay, the 一筒、9筒 they are isolated, then the 131 is a Kalong. Okay, in this case, taking into account that you already have 4 blocks to do 锁子 half flush, right? Okay, so what you should do is just focus on doing 锁子. Okay, so instead of throwing C, if this is your starting hand, instead of throwing C, you should be throwing 一筒 and 9筒 and try to aim for 半色. Okay, until a certain point of time where the C died already, you no longer can keep it to do 半色. If not, you just keep it for the half flush chance. Okay. Okay. Now I'm going to go through the situation where you should not be doing half flush. Okay, this kind of play style is what me and my friends, right, we like to joke of this as the auntie play style, because a lot of aunties play mahjong like this, or uncles lah. Okay, yeah. So for example, for this hand, okay, you already have 2 completed sets. Okay, and then depending on whether you have other, in Singapore Mahjong you can draw animal or 自牌, right, and on top of that you can 碰白板 for the another tie. Okay, so that should be you should go for the route of a normal hand, because 2、3、4筒 is already a completed set. Okay, and in Richie you also won't aim for half flush, because you can just do your 门清 hand and then call Richie. Okay, so over here the normal discard will either be 一锁 or 北. Okay, both are acceptable. Okay, because 一是锁, if you I mean I've explained this a few times before, but I'll just explain it again. Okay, if you have 一锁 and 四锁, okay, 一锁 can only use 1 2 3, then 四锁 can use 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, I mean connect to those tiles. So if you discard 一锁, the only thing you lose out is 一锁 itself, which is just a pair. Okay, the 2、3锁 can connect to the 四锁. Okay, So in this case, you should either throw the 一所 or 北. But then if you are playing the anti style, okay, what will happen is they will throw 五万. Okay, so let's say I see someone playing Mahjong and then in this case he throw 五万, he or she throw 五万. Then I'll ask the person, why you throw 五万? Why you don't throw 一所 or 北? Okay, then you know what the reply will be? Oh, because I'm aiming for 半色. Then I will be like, you got 二三四筒 and then you aim for 半色. So is it you're going to break the whole complete set of 二三四筒? Then they will tell you, yes, the moment I draw sword, I break 二三四筒 do 半色. Okay, I think this is I mean, I don't mind if they are my opponents, but I don't think from the educational and efficiency point of view, right, I don't think that that's the right way to play. Okay, you think of it in terms of probability. If you are switching out uh, an incomplete set, okay, either a pair or a sequence, okay, if it's only two tiles and the set is incomplete, if you want to switch it out for a set that gives you half flush, okay, that's two tiles for two tiles, so the probability is even out. Okay, so it's a good trade-off. You didn't really change your speed much, but you are aiming for a bigger hand. Okay, but in this case, if you choose to break the whole 二三四筒, you break a complete set for an incomplete set, you actually sacrifice a lot of speed, okay, for a hand that is further away from 听牌 and I mean, although it's a bigger hand, but it's much more unlikely that you will complete the hand. Okay, so I don't know whether I explained this well enough or not, but I hope that you see that in this case you should not be trying to do the half flush. Okay, by the way, the half flush sounds a bit weird on my tongue compared to 半色. Yeah, but I'll just use a combination of both. Okay, next. Okay, this, let's say this is your starting hand. Okay, looks like shit, right? Okay, this hand kind of sucks very badly. Okay, what a lot of players would do instinctively in this case would be they will throw the 轮自拍. Okay, because that is the most efficient discard at this stage. Or they might throw 一所. Okay, their objective is to aim for 臭平湖. Let's say you already got flower lah. Okay, so their objective is to aim for 臭平湖, or for Richie players aim for a 平夫 hand, okay, or close 平夫 hand. Okay, actually for this type of hands, right, when the hand is so bad, okay, if you aim for a normal hand, okay, you will actually lose out in speed against other players who are likelier to have better hands that comprise of better sequences. Okay, so if you play a normal hand and you're going to lose out to them, like it's unlikely that you will overtake them in speed. Okay, you might as well commit yourself to a hand that is bigger, such that if you have to risk pushing tiles against your opponents, okay, the risk is actually worth it because you're aiming towards a half flush hand. Okay, your hand value is bigger, so it's much more worth for you to take risks against other players compared to if you are doing a shit hand or like a 臭平湖 hand. Okay, you are slower than other players and you're taking risks. Okay, that is a losing gamble. Okay, and for as on top of the speed issue, right, if you were to discard 一筒九筒三万八万, like basically do half flush in the 锁子 suit and discard everything else, from the middle game to the late game, if your hand has not much progress, you can actually decide to defend. Okay, and if you started off trying to aim for half flush, that means that you have kept a lot of honor tiles. Okay, when you reach the middle to late game where likely other players are 听牌 or close to 听牌, okay, you actually have a lot of honor tiles that you can discard to defend if your hand is still looks like shit after a lot of draws. Okay, so to summarize, right, firstly, when you get this kind of hand, if you play normally, you will likely lose to other players, okay, who are also taking the normal route to a 听牌 hand. Okay, so you'll lose in speed, so you might as well focus on getting more value so that it's more worth for you to take risks. Okay, that's the first point. The second point is when you reach the middle to late game and you want to defend, you actually have a lot of 自拍 to defend with. Okay, so offensively and defensively, if you play this way, okay, you get the benefit in both areas. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let me talk about how you can balance your hand with half flush. So for example, you have already assume that you've already 碰发财 okay, so you have one tie. Okay, you might have other tie but doesn't matter for now. Okay, so in this case you don't need to aim for 半射 because your hand shape is quite good. You can eat 141 or 4七所 or draw them yourself and then you 听牌. Okay, so if let's say the game is like maybe this stage is like in the middle of the game lah. Okay, so you just look at the table, see whether there's more pei available or more hong zong available. Okay, then just discard the one that has less tiles for you to draw. Okay, and you can aim towards a normal hand. Okay, because the shape is good. Okay, so it's still likely that you win this hand normally. Okay, but you can balance this hand with a half flush. So let's say you throw pei and then you draw hong zong, then you can break the 231 and aim for 半射. Okay, this is an efficient way to play your hand. You are balancing speed and value. Okay, so speed as in if you get to 听牌 then just 听牌 and win the hand you can win you already 碰发财. Okay, but if you manage to upgrade to incorporate 半射 into your hand, because now you lack one block but you can keep the chance for it. Okay, if you get the last block like you pair your hong zong, then you can go for 半射 and sacrifice a bit of speed but the value is worth it. Okay, another example, let's say in this case not as good. Okay, but then let's say same thing you 碰发财 already okay, so some players might throw the 自拍 because they think it's the most efficient discard. Okay, but for me I would throw 酒桶. Okay, because this hand is not yet close to 听牌 but you have 3 自拍 that you can pair them up and then aim for 半射. Okay, so same thing, you throw 酒桶 then you draw one of the 自拍 then you see like what 自拍 is like still available, then you throw the other one, then you can still 听牌 if you get I mean after that you will need to either 碰一所 or the 自拍 or wait 141. Okay, if you 听牌 just take it. If before you 听牌 you draw another pair of 自拍 then you can aim for 半射. Okay, what if the 酒桶 change to a center tile? Then this is a much bigger gray area. You might want to keep like let's say 五桶. You might want to keep 五桶 because you can connect to a wide variety of tiles for your last block. Okay, from 3桶 all the way to 7桶. Okay, then in that case you might not want to aim for 半射 that much. Or you just be flexible. Just look at the discards. See whether the 东西 and the 红中 see whether they are like discarded before already. See whether if there's 2 on the table, then obviously you don't keep them to do 半射. Okay, then if they are totally live, then you want to think whether you want to aim for 半射 or not. Are you losing very badly, or if you are already winning, then no need to aim for 半射. Okay, so you need to be flexible, take other factors into consideration. Okay, next thing, let's talk about situations where you should give up your half flush. Okay, so one big issue that a lot of Mahjong players have is that they think that this kind of combos are very cool. So even when it makes sense to give up the half flush, they choose not to. Okay, so let me give you an example in Singapore Mahjong first. So let's say you already have Mantai, for example. Okay, for both cases you already 碰发财 Let's say you are double C and you got 2 animals outside. Okay, so you are already 5 tie, or if you are playing max 6 tie, then let's say you got one more animal on that 6 tie. Okay, regardless let's say you manhu already. Okay, so in this case if you manhu already then there's no need to aim for 半射, right? So you see some of these 4、5、7、8、1 they are using the same like one is 3六 one needs 361 one needs 691 so they are both overlapping on the 6-1 so it's not efficient to keep both blocks. Okay, in comparison the 7-8 sword is much stronger. It can accept 6-9 sword where 9 sword is a corner tile and therefore players are more likely to discard it. Okay, for whether it's for you to eat or for you to win. Okay, so in this case the correct thing you should do is to give up your half flush and break the 4-5-1. Okay, so there's no need to aim for style points when the whole point is to aim to the whole point of Mahjong is to aim to win. Okay, whether you are winning money or winning points. Okay, if you are playing, you need to play logically to maximize your chance of winning. Okay, if there's no need to aim for the half flush, then just break the half flush. Okay, that is for Singapore Mahjong. I'll give you another example for Richie. Okay, so let's say again you already 碰发财 or in Japanese we call the 发财 hatsu. Okay, so in Richie let's say you 碰 the hatsu and then let's say Tong is the Dora. Okay, then so hatsu and 2 Dora. Okay, three Han in Richie Mahjong. Okay, if you do Honitsu, right, or I mean Honitsu is half flush in Japanese. Okay, if you do Honitsu that is 5 Han which is Mangan. Okay, but in this case you also have the Aka Uso, the red Uso, right? So Hatsu 2 Dora and 1 Aka Dora, that is 4 Han, which in most of the rules that we play now 4 and 5 Han are the same. Okay, in this case definitely the same because you have enough Fu from the 3 Pei and the 碰 of 发财. So basically the whether you do Honitsu or not is the same value. Okay, 4 Han and 5 Han same value. So in this case you should give up on the Honitsu. You break the year 1 and then have the highest chance of winning by taking the 2 ramen weights 四七 sword and 471. Okay, so from for this point basically I'm saying that you don't always have to go for half flush. You don't have to stubbornly maintain the chance for half flush because there are situations where you don't need the half flush at all. The hand value is the same with and without the half flush. Okay, so the aim of Mahjong is not to be the most stylish player but to win the most, and to do that you have to play logically. Okay, let me go through one last thing. Okay, this is called the I don't know. Okay, I named it myself. Okay, early overflow scare tactic. Okay, so just one last point from me about the half flush. Okay, so let's say you already 碰发财 and you eat 1、2、3筒, so you are aiming towards half flush. Okay, you are 1 away from 听牌. Okay, so in this case, many players instinctively choose to discard the 无所 because everything else is in the suit that they are doing. Okay, but if you do that, if you discard 无所 and then when you 听牌 you discard 一筒, right, then other players they can very easily mark which is the moment that you 听牌. Okay, because they know that you always keep the 童子 until the end. I mean the suit that you are keeping. If you always keep until the end, then it's very easy for other players to read when you are 听牌 or very close to 听牌. Okay, so yeah, so if you're still discarding 无所, then the other players they will think like, oh, maybe you're not waiting yet. Then they have more incentive to continue pushing their hands, and before you 听牌 you might actually like 放炮 to them. Okay, so what you should do in this case is to throw 一筒 because you don't need it, right? You already have 4筒、6、7筒 and 白板. You have enough blocks to complete your half flush hand. Okay, there's no way you need the 一筒. Even if you draw 2、3筒, it can connect to 4筒. And the only thing you can backfire is 一筒, which you already have one that's inside your sequence. Okay, so it's not good also. Okay, so you throw the 一筒 first. Okay, and then other players will think, oh no, you already have too much 童子, so they will be scared and they will play like they will keep the 筒子 in their hand and it will delay their hands. So if their hands are delayed, you will have a lower chance of 放炮 to them, and you have more time to build your hand towards 听牌. Okay, whether you want to draw or someone still go and YOLO the 白板 for you to 碰 or something. Okay, on top of that, if you throw 一筒 first, and then when you 听牌 you throw 五索, right? Okay, you're going to confuse the hell out of your opponents. They'll be like, how come throw 一筒 and then suddenly the hand inside got one 五索? Is it actually he not even doing 筒子? Then they once they have that mentality, they will be like, he's not even 半射 lah, then just anyhow throw lah. Then they take the 筒子 and feed you. Okay, then so this, I think this psychological tactic is quite strong. Okay, I think I've used it quite a few times, and it always works, especially for players who are more alert. Okay, of course, if you are playing with those people who don't even know that they don't even know when someone else is doing half flush, then maybe this doesn't work as much. But if you are playing with decent players, okay, I think this you can try it out. I think it's quite good. Okay, so that's all I'm going to talk about for the offensive aspect of half flush or 半射. Okay, I hope that everyone learned something today. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.